Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm S. Maxine Fisher, an author, fiber artist, and queer parent of one. And today is a really special day. We have a project we're going to work on today, and it is for a good cause. So stay tuned and let's jump into this. I love crocheting dragons, as you can see by the little pile that's growing behind me. I tried to neaten up as much as possible today, but I am actually market prepping for a market that's coming up in a week. You'll hear more about that in a minute. But today's project, we are going to be working on a crochet dragon. That is right. And this is going to be a challenge. So I am going to be working today. I actually took my entire day off and I'm going to be working straight for a total of, I think it's going to be about 8 hours. Let's see, what time is it now? It is 8:30. And low-key, I had a crazy morning. I was hoping to start at 8 a.m., but we're going to be working for 8 hours. So till 5:30 on this dragon. I am going to be doing the Spring Dragon in a Box by Lyra Loon Softies. And because we're crocheting straight through today, and I'm going to post this video right afterwards, I don't have a picture of her. So check out the thumbnail to this video and you can see the gorgeousness that is the Lyra Loon Softies Spring Dragon. I'm also linking the pattern down below as a mention. And by the end of this video, you're going to be able to see her in 3 dimensions. I picked this dragon, first of all, because she's absolutely beautiful. I love cherry blossoms. Like literally my wedding was under cherry blossoms, no lie. It was out in a park in the middle of COVID when it got really bad and we were determined and the cherry blossoms bloomed just for us. So that is my little snippet of personal data. And so I love cherry blossoms. They have like a lot of special memories for me. And to me, it always just signals the coming of spring, regeneration, hope, all sorts of good stuff. So this dragon is going to have little cherry blossom buds on her, but she is almost entirely no-sew, or at least less sewing than kind of some of your typical dragons. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe, but like a lot of dragons like this have a lot of detail that you have to sew on. And I feel like this one has a lot of the pieces built together. Lyra Loon is a very incredible, talented designer. Check out their stuff through the link below. But yeah, we're gonna jump into this. So here are the yarns that I chose for today's project. And I just put them all in my yarn box, so they're a little bit messy, but I am going to be using Premier Parfait Chunky for most of the detail. So I have, let's see, I've got Acorn. I am using, so I got a little bit indecisive, folks, and we're going to have to make a decision. I have my favorite combo, which is bubblegum. Bubblegum here. I just have a little bit because we don't only need a little. Bubblegum and cotton candy that goes so well together, and I kind of need a mid pink. So I've got like this ballet pink, but I don't know. I feel like looking at it on camera, it doesn't look as bad. In person, I feel like ballet pink can be a little flat. I always use it and keep it on hand for like the little blushy cheeks, and it's like that perfect shade. And I also use it like for the pink and the trans flag. But other than that, I feel like it's got kind of this flat tone to it. So I don't know if it's gonna really stand out. I've got 3 shades of pink for Parfait Chunky. Then I have this lime green for the green detail, and I'm gonna do the body in Big Twist Baby Bear. This color is Vanilla Cake. I really like this, and I picked it not just because I like the color, but also the consistency. It was kind of between that and white, and the white at my Michael's was feeling rather sticky today. So we're gonna do Vanilla Cake and have it just this light cream. Now that you've seen my messy yarn stash that I'm gonna be working from, so I apologize for that. This is my favorite crochet hook. That's my 5mm tulip hook. And I've got my scissors and my needle and my stitch markers. So we are ready to go. Hopefully this will be a cozy crochet and chat video. Without further ado, let's get into it. I'm gonna get started on the head. And I'm gonna pause and go grab my pattern. Okay, folks, coming on just to show off this. I did say that I wasn't going to show pictures, but here is what I've got. So look. Oh, the lighting is so bad and it's got this glare going on, but this is what I'm making today. Isn't she cute? I love the sleepy eyes and the little curled up dragon. I don't know if it has any better pictures. You know, I'm gonna hold off until we finish this dragon and you'll see it in 3D, but I love her. I love her so much. I don't think I'm gonna be making the box. I do just want to make the dragon, but you know what? We'll see. We'll see how fast she works up. It's so, so cute. And you can see it has the triple shades of pink, and it really is just a small amount of each color for those details. So I'm so excited about this pattern. Like, as soon as I saw this on Etsy, I was like, I need to make her. I'm just gonna follow this pattern from beginning to end. I'm not going rogue, I promise. This is gonna be a chillaxing video. So let me see if I can get my center pull and then we can crochet and chat. Okay, got the nose started. Yay. That was the most interesting way to begin that I've seen in a while. I feel like I do love trying all these different intricate patterns from really talented designers like this, because I get new ideas of how to shape things. And of course the dragon is going to be beautiful. I am going to go off camera for a little bit and crochet and follow this pattern until I get to a place where I think I see a chunk of straight rounds down there. At which point I can come on and chat a little bit and maybe talk a little bit more about my business and the cause that I'm crocheting for. So stay tuned and let's see how this dragon shapes up. Also, I've got my coffee here and I just wanted to show off this cute little coffee mug. Speaking of cherry blossoms, this is, I think these are actually peach blossoms, which are the state flower of Delaware. And I found this at a local venue. If you are native to Delaware, you've probably heard of Willie Farms down in Townsend, which is about halfway down the state, at least from my end of the state. And I saw these there in the Mercantile and I was like, oh my goodness, I have to have this. So my wife went back and she sneaked in and she bought it for me. That was so sweet. All right, now I'm at a point where I'm just crocheting straight rounds, as I call it, meaning, you know, just one single crochet into each single crochet of the round. So I have a little time and space to chat. So yeah, let's see, things that you don't know yet about my business. I started crocheting while I was on maternity leave with our son. However, I started crocheting when I was a kid. I did mostly like blankets and stuff, apparel, scarves, hats, the things that, you know, people typically do that are simple, basic projects. My mom crocheted. She tried to teach me, and we failed because I was just too young. And then my cousin actually sat down and taught me while she was over on a rare visit. Anyway, so yeah, I've been crocheting since I was a kid. I actually knitted more than I crocheted, and that was my hobby of choice until I had a kid. I just was more into the knitting, and I really wanted a hobby that I could pick up and put down. Whether or not I really like picking up and putting down something is a whole other thing, but I wanted something that I could physically like be able to drop at a moment's notice if the baby's crying. And knitting just really did not lend itself to that, because especially if you have a child, you know, like the little grabby fingers get into everything. And I felt like it is so much easier to completely ruin like an intricate lace shawl that you're knitting than a crochet piece, because if you drop the stitches off those needles, you're done. It can, especially I did a lot of crocheting lace, knitting lace, and it could just be wiped out. So anyway, that's why I chose crochet, because I feel like the damage is limited if you have to drop it at a second's notice. Plus I got, like, when I started crocheting a little bit, I first started with like granny squares because that was unknown quantity to me. And I still do have a lot of those granny square items still in my shop that I'm trying to kind of slowly sell. I made a lot of like purses and bags and thought those would sell, and they kind of didn't. But my kid really liked things that rattle and things that make noise. So at one point, this is so silly, but I took like a Similac scoop, you know, one of those little scoopy things. I was like, ooh, this looks like it would make a really cool rattle. So I actually put beans in it and sealed it off with like a little cap on the other end. And crocheted like this little bee around it and gave it to him to rattle. And oh my goodness, he was in love with that thing. He loved that Ms. Bee so much. that I took pictures of it and listed it on my Etsy, which probably wasn't a great idea. I should have like invested in getting rattle cores and stuff. Spoilers, I didn't actually sell any except to a friend of mine wanted one. But that really got me into looking for patterns for little kind of like bullet shaped items that I could put in like a rattle core into for my kid. And of course, when you start searching for something, then all the algorithms pick up your preferences. So I went down the rabbit hole of amigurumi real fast. I saw lots of cool Pokemon that I wanted to make. This was before I was aware that you can't sell intellectual property, but I really just want to make them for my kid. So I've been making like plushies for my kid that he doesn't play with because he's not a plushie person yet. I was kind of just making them for my own sanity, to have something for my hands to do, because my hands cannot be idle. So long story short, I came across Crochet by Jenna's channel and those of a few other crochet influencers. So I just really got into making plushies. Because I had a background in crochet, it was not a huge jump for me to be making amigurumi, hopefully with, a good level of quality. And kind of the rest is history. I started listing my items on Etsy. I didn't sell a lot of plushies right away. What I did sell was kipot. A kippa, if you're not familiar, is also known as a yarmulke. You would see these for Jewish folks who wear them in sacred spaces, like in the synagogue. It's a small skull cap that fits on the back of the head. It's usually held in place by a bobby pin or barrette if you have a lot of hair and it tends to slip off. So I had a crochet kippa that I really loved, and it was a rainbow colored Star of David with like in like a purple field, because the purple was the outer color, and it was so cute. It was made by another artist on Etsy, and my wife got it for me as I don't remember when we got it. I think it was for Pride actually, but I accidentally destroyed that kippa by sticking it on something that was in front of an open window and letting that be its home. And over time, I realized, I didn't really notice until it was kind of too late, that the sun totally bleached the heck out of all those bright, beautiful colors. So I went back on Etsy to see if I could find that artist and get them to make me another kippa. And I could not find them. I could not find what I was looking for. There are a number of really nice looking Pride kipot that are out there, but it is sort of a niche. So I designed a kippa with lots of cussing and tearing my hair out and frogging. And I finally designed a kippa pattern. It's on my Etsy, the basic one. And I got it to look the way I wanted and have the colors that I wanted. And then I was like, well, now that I made myself this gorgeous kippa, let me take some pictures of it and see if I'll get any Etsy sales. So that was actually the first item that I finally got some sales on and started getting my shop some reviews. So if you're out there as a crochet business owner, it's really crucial that you make your first few sales and get some reviews. Like your first 10 sales are key to establishing your shop. Your first 10 reviews are gold. I now have like over 1,000 sales. I have a couple hundred reviews, I believe, or at least over 100 reviews. So if you search for the items that I make in the shop, they'll come up. It took months before of getting sales and reviews before, if you search for a Pride kippa, any of my items would even come up in the search engine, because Etsy favors more established shops in its algorithm. So that's the history of kind of how I started my business. Once I did get those first few sales and reviews, hang on, checking my pattern. Once I got those first few sales and reviews, I was able to really do better, like make more sales more frequently, to the point where I was getting maybe one order a week. And that was really nice, a little side income and something to keep my hands busy. Now I've been getting multiple orders a week. I still sell kipot. I sell gender affirming accessories. I sell sinker eyes for crochet, and I sell lots and lots of plushies. And I've also delved into the world of in-person markets. So I have one coming up on May 31st where I am going to auction the plushie that I'm making right now. So I'll talk a little bit about that in a bit, but look, here's how the face is coming out. She's so cute. I am going to pause and go off camera to finish this head, and then I will come back on and crochet and chat some more once I have some rounds to work on. All right, folks, my camera just froze, so that ends my quest to try to shoot this thing all in one continuous video. I guess I will have to go to CapCut and try to splice it up, but meanwhile, I did finish all the leaves and all the petals. Yay, ta-da! I feel like the count going 6 beautiful petals. So here we go. These are all the little small moving parts, and now I'm getting started on the body. I did go ahead and start the little tail piece, so I'm just going to crochet and chat a little bit more here while I work on this dragon tail. So what was I going to talk about? I was going to tell you folks about the cause that I am currently raising funds for. So as you know, this is a raffle prize. Every $10 donated to the cause that we're raising funds for will gain you one entry, whether you use the link down below to access the GoFundMe or come in person to see us on May 31st on the green at Historic Newcastle, when I will be collecting the remainder of raffle names and doing our drawing at the end of the day. So you have till midnight on May 31st to donate to Cocina 943, which is actually run by the same organizer who is doing the Newcastle County Pride Fest. The Newcastle County Pride Market that is for queer-owned business owners this spring. I have been working with them for the past couple of years. They're a great organizer for markets, and they also help the local community in Delaware. Jules, the organizer, who is the head of, let's see if I can get the acronym correct, Delaware Sexuality and Gender Coalition, or Gender and Sexuality Coalition. I don't know. I'm going to link their organization down below and you can correct my acronym. But they run a number of different programs, of which Cocina 943 is one of them. And the program is designed for people who are going through gender affirming surgeries to get the support that they would need at home to be able to recover and get back to their daily lives. So that's where Cocina 943 comes in. And let me check my pattern here real quick. I'm doing 7 single crochet. So what they do is they provide meals to people who are recovering from gender affirming surgeries. They partner with local restaurants. So I have set up a GoFundMe that I have linked at the bottom of this video for anybody who is interested in donating to Cocina 943. And if you donate by midnight on May 31st, every $10 donated will be counted as one entry into a raffle for this little guy that I'm making today. And I'm going to be displaying it at my booth at the market and collecting additional raffle entries in person to be able to give this dragon to one lucky winner who donated to their program. So if you are interested in winning this dragon and want to donate to a good cause, go down to our hit our GoFundMe and go ahead and donate. I will say that if you are choosing to donate via the GoFundMe, make sure that you have a correct email address that you've entered into there, so that if you are the winner, when I send the thank you message, I will let you know that you are the winner, and I will give you the contact information where you can redeem your dragon. And at that point I'll have to see, because I have not used GoFundMe before, but I will give you my contact info, or you can pull it from my page, which is also linked down below. That way I can contact you and ship you your dragon, or find a way to meet up with you if you're local. That being said, let me make sure I'm using the right number of stitches here. I am. Good. It's always challenging to talk and count at the same time. I don't do a whole lot of fundraisers or solicit donations for charities, but this one is pretty near and dear to my heart. Apart from being part of the queer community, for many, many years when I was a kid, my dad actually I don't know if he created a charity specifically, but had a program that was unofficial and through our church that was functioning for years to just help bring extra groceries to folks who are in need in our community. At the time, cutting off my ends here, at that time we lived up in like the Kennett Square area, which is known as the mushroom capital of the world, or of the US, I believe. And every year we would get a number of migrant workers who would come up and be employed in the mushroom farms. And conditions were really hard. I mean, conditions are always difficult if you're moving from one country to another, which these folks were. A lot of folks came from Mexico. They were not well resourced and came into a community where they didn't have any entitlements to, federal programs that folks who are citizens of the United States would. So they were basically just relying on friends and family. So we would go to an apartment complex where a lot of folks landed when they first immigrated, and just go knock on doors. And we had bags of food bank food that we'd offer to them. And my dad spoke fluent Spanish because he had been a missionary in Mexico for many years, as a child, actually. And it was really just a kind of a neighbors helping neighbors program. And that's something that's always stuck with me. So whenever I'm able to find something like that within our community, I do want to be able to support them. And I feel like that's what Jules does. That's what their organization does. It's a lot of just very boots on the ground, neighbors helping neighbors. All right, let me check my pattern here. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is actually a very logical and easy little doohickey at the end of the table. It's just a giant petal. I love it. But now I am going to get back to work. So I will see you folks when I get a little farther along on the body. All right, folks, I am working on the body, just coming on to show you a little bit of my progress. Look how cute. Ooh, I gotta make sure that these line up correctly. I feel like this is already starting to spiral just a little bit, mainly because I crochet so tightly, I spiral in the opposite direction of most people. Oh, okay, this is like so well designed too. I feel like all these petals and leaves would be a ton of sewing. She actually does this no sew, so everything is crocheted directly in. I'm not going to tell you the techniques because that would be spoiling the pattern that she spent probably a lot of time designing. But I am thrilled with this, and you should definitely get the pattern because this is a great piece. It's been so easy to make so far, and look, it's 10:15 and I've been crocheting pretty slowly and talking while I crochet, and I'm already this far on the tail. I have the pieces done. I have the head done. So I'm just going to keep on working and keep crocheting up the tail and the body. I am finally getting to the point where this widens out for the body, and it looks like I have only 2 more sets of these petals to go. So I am really happy with the way this is turning out. It's so cute. I just need to show it off. It's so beautiful. Oh my goodness. I love this so much. I love this pattern. I definitely will be buying more patterns from Lyra Loom Softies. I actually have a couple of their patterns on my pattern bucket list, so stay tuned because whenever I have another opportunity, I want to make another of these dragons. She has elemental dragons, so she's got like a water dragon, and I think she has like an elemental fire dragon. She has like a fall forest themed one and a summer forest themed one that has like little mushrooms on it. It's so stinking cute. I need to make that. Side note, I really want to do the Mushroom Festival next year. I feel like this year is just it's been too crazy with my job for me to commit to a multi-day festival, and the entrance fee is like $400, which is more than I've ever plunked down on a market. But I'm hoping that in 2027 that I can apply to do our local Kennett Square Mushroom Festival, because that would be so amazing. And I feel like I can find so many forest and mushroom themed patterns, specifically mushroom themed patterns to prep for that one. So yeah, If I don't sell my giant mushroom guy by then, I hope I definitely will at the Mushroom Festival. Hey everyone, coming on to show you my progress. Here it is. This is the body and it's all done. So I just have to attach the head on here. But I'm gonna put this aside and grab some lunch. And next we are gonna work on all the little small parts. We have legs, wings, and horns. So I'm assuming all those parts are gonna be sewn on because they are not currently attached. So yeah, they will have to be sewn on. So we do have some sewing in our future, but I'm really super glad I didn't have to sew any of this stuff because that would have been a nightmare. So I'm very impressed with the pattern so far. It came out really nice. I did have to make a couple little adjustments here and there, which she does say in the pattern, like you have to adjust for your tension so these all come out in a straight line. And I think this is straight enough for me. I do see some flaws, but overall I think that they're not something that a customer is going to have a problem with. It's just me and my OCD. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started on the, I don't know, wings, horns, legs, whatever. Let's see what's next. I'm going to take a look. The box. I'm not crocheting the box, at least not at this time. Back legs. All right. Back legs are... Hey folks, coming on to show you my progress. Excuse me. So here is what I have so far. I have the head and here are all the small white pieces. I have 2 of these front legs, 2 of these lower back legs, and 2 of these upper back legs. So I am going to break for lunch now. It is 12:45. I have the body, the head, the legs done, and I think that is a respectable amount of progress. Next up, we have the horns and the wings, and I think there are some ears too. So those are going to be all the small parts that we sew on, and then we will have the sewing. Wow, this took a little bit longer than I was anticipating. I also, again, was kind of working slowly, but yeah, it is 12:45 now. We started at 8:30 this morning. So that's a little over 4 hours worth of work, but now we just have some small parts to finish up. So I will go grab some pizza and jump back on and see you guys later. Okay, so apparently I ate my share of the pizza already. And so did my cat. So I am eating some frozen pupusas for lunch. If you don't know what a pupusa is, you can still eat one. I guarantee you, you will not die and you may have your life changed. They're amazing. I do not know what a pupusa is, but I am eating them. I think the first one I had was when I traveled to Honduras and I was at the airport and there was this stand that just says pupusas, P-U-P-U-S-A-S, if you are trying to Google it. I was like, okay, I'm in a hurry, please give me 3. And my life was changed. They are amazing. To this day, I do not know what I'm eating, but I don't care. They're wonderful. If you are ever offered food from another country, just keep in mind that this food is being eaten by humans that are just like you. They may speak another language, but so do your kids, and they are probably genetically related. Here are the horns. They look like little branches with buds, and I love them. It is almost 2 o'clock, so I really need to step up my pace. I'm going to hurry up and do the wings, and then we are going to put this dragon all together. Okay, I am done with the wings. Here they are. Yay, they're so pretty. I love these colors all together. I really am more of a fan of the pink now that, like the darker pink. I do think this cotton candy came out a little dark. I think it's kind of the dye lot that we got because I feel like cotton candy usually is a little bit lighter than this. And I was banking on that, but I still like it and I am excited to sew these on the dragon. So this makes all the small moving parts, and I'm just going to show you my basket. This is like my little mini basket full of all the small parts to this dragon. So this actually, I will amend my statement about this dragon being low sew. It's not a big dragon, but it does have a lot of small parts that go onto it. Apart from these guys, I do not think that there is any way that like I could go rogue and make this lower sew. I feel like things like the horns, the ears, the wings, these all need to be sewn at their appropriate angles. So there's really no way you can crochet this stuff in unless you're an expert and want to take extra time to modify the pattern, which I do not. I want to finish out the day today. It is now 2:53 p.m. So we have 2 hours left in this day for me to put this dragon together. So I'm gonna get, for those of you who watch my channel, you know that I use a lot of these, instead of Ammi sticks, I use these cocktail skewers. These are little tiny bamboo pins, and at least all the ones that don't have a little split in the end or something are great for just poking items into your crochet. And I like that they stay there and they don't slide out like knitting needles or have the tops fall off like some of the Ammi sticks that I've seen. So these are kind of my go-to. So I'm going to take a big handful of these pins and pin up this dragon. So we're going to get all the pieces pinned onto it, but I think I'm going to start with a head first, just so that I have everything where it needs. 3:30, we're moving right along. Here he is so far. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. I did do what the maker recommended, which is set the head kind of offset so that it can kind of curl up like this. I don't know how flexible I made the tail, but I think it's going to be really, really cute. I love the horn. The horns are my favorite part. So, spoilers, I am not done yet crocheting. There's still more to crochet. I see that I'm supposed to make a couple flowers and some more leaves. So I'll be doing that after I finish all the sewing, because I think that I'm running short on time. I have to pick my son up. Actually, my wife is picking my son up at 5 because my car is in the shop. So he's coming home and I need to be able to prep dinner. So this day does need to end on time, but yay, so cute. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so adorable. It is about 4:15 p.m. Here is my dragon so far. Oh my gosh. Showing her on camera just like looks even better than when I'm looking at her in person. So I am so happy with this. We are almost done. Here are the wings. The wings were actually super challenging because I totally misread the directions on where to put these. It did not help that this is one of those dragons where they make you count literally tens of rounds from the tail up to figure out where to place the wings. So the first time I miscounted and kind of had to jimmy them around, but she is almost done. The last thing I need to do is I need to make the cherry blossoms that I missed during the first go round. So I think I have, how many flowers? It says flowers plural. I think I have to add 2 flowers, and then that's it. Yeah, 2 flowers and 4 leaves. What? This is the same. Okay, I really wish it would have been helpful if she had put the number of leaves in the previous portion and maybe put all these cherry blossoms together, because we had petals, we had a set number of leaves, and then we could have just made extra leaves while we were doing that. But that's my way my brain works. I like things to be efficient. So if I make this dragon again, I'm just going to make myself a little note here to just make the flowers along with the petals and the leaves, since I already have the yarn out and I'm kind of in that mindset already. But enough talking, here I go. Flowers coming up, and then we will see the finished product. All right, folks, ready for the final reveal. Here she is. Oh, she's so cute. There's the flowers. Those are the last embellishments that I put on. She is so cute. This is definitely one of my favorite dragon makes. I have made a lot of dragons, and this one had comparatively a lot of moving parts, but it was 100% worth it. I love the wings. I love all the little flower applications. So this is going to be our raffle prize. Let me go ahead and I'm going to put her down and give you the overview from a better perspective so you can admire her. Okay, don't mind my messy crochet studio, but here she is. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Well, folks, that about wraps up our work for today. This little gal is coming with me to the Newcastle County Pride Market on May 31st. So if you're going to be local to Delaware, come out and visit us on the 31st from noon to 5 p.m. We're going to be on the Green and Historic Newcastle, and I will have this little girl with me. One lucky donor who chooses to buy raffle tickets will be will be taking this dragon home with them or be receiving it shipped to them. If you are not local to Delaware, you can still enter to win this dragon up until midnight on May 31st, 2026. Just hit the link down below to visit our GoFundMe for Cocina 943. Once again, every $10 in donations will receive one entry into the raffle, the same online as in person. That is all for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. If you liked this video and liked watching us crochet this dragon, click that like and subscribe button so you won't miss a video. Thanks again. Have a fabulous day, everyone, and stay creative. Bye.